All right. Test the one. Come on in this house, sir. Come on in this house. All right, come on in this house. Welcome to Black Unicorns, Jeffrey. We're so happy to have you today. You look amazing. I can't hear you. Please unmute your phone, your Zoom call. Cheers. This is the Black Unicorn platform. We love you. We want you here. We're very happy to have you. I'm so happy that you came on the platform today. How are you doing, Jeffrey? How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's so good to see you.
Oh yeah, no, it's totally fine. You know, I'm sure you're not used to seeing me in all my grandiose life or whatever, but this is what it is here now, and this is the Black Unicorn platform. So take it or leave it.
I'll take it.
Boy, you're not gonna say nothing to me. This is stupid. I'm just playing with you, Jeffrey.
I'm like, all right. If that's the character we going for, all right. I'm gonna rock. I'm gonna.
You. Oh my God! It was a look down for me. I had to give you a little juice. You said.
I was like, all right, you know, this is I'm doing my friend a favor. Okay. Hey, if this is the character, this is the character.
You really are, though. Hold on. All right, so no, but honestly, no, but no, for real. Welcome to Black Unicorns. I thought she was gonna be like, boy. I thought she was gonna be like, Chris Eclipse. Like, if you ever see me acting like that, you better say something. Don't be letting me act like that in public.
I'm gonna let you do what you do, and I'm gonna be like, oh, so that's what we're giving nowadays. All right. Okay.
Hair's long, Jeffrey. Since you left, it got longer.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, it got longer. Yeah, it did. It did. Well, it's been it's been what, 2-3 months?
I don't think it's been that long. Has it been that long?
I feel like it has been about 3 months since you've been gone.
Oh.
What is my camera angle giving me right now? Sorry. Funny, you was not feeling that. You was gonna go with it. That's a true friend for you right there. That is a true ride or die. You was about to roll with the punches. At least I know.
Hey. I was gonna let you do your thing, and I was gonna, all right. I said he's committed. Let me just go ahead and let this rock out.
Welcome to Black Unicorns. This is a platform basically to inspire other people that may see themselves in you. And like you said, and like you just mentioned, Jeffrey is a friend of mine. We go back, I don't even know what, 20 years? Longer?
Probably like 120 years. Yeah, like.
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, it's been a long. We know each other for a long time. Same neighborhood. I am really happy to have you here because
I'm happy to be here.
I know that people are going to see this and see us doing what we do, and it's going to inspire a lot of people. So that's the point of this. So let's just jump right in, though. I know it's late there where you are, and let's get into this. Let's jump in.
It is late. It's like 11 o'clock there.
It's 11 o'clock in the morning. 11:10.
Yeah. But the sun, I don't see the sun out or anything.
It is not. It's so rainy outside. That's why the girls are closed. Wow. She's giving real rain out there right now. Because I was gonna open it up for you to get some sunlight in here, but it ain't no sunlight. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. All right, Jeffrey.
I've been seeing all of your Instagram posts, and they look amazing.
Thank you.
All of your your videos and
Thank you.
photography, and
Yeah.
it looks really stunning, Mr. Eclipse,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Unicorn.
Honestly, every single interview I've done has been just mind blowing, and I've really had some beautiful guests. All right, so obviously, you guys know this is Jeffery Page. Jeffery, the motherfucking Jeffery Page. What the first question we always ask is how you identify and what are your pronouns?
He, him, his. Um, I identify as me, Jeffrey, a dude. But yet and still, I respect and have sincere admiration for those who don't find themselves on this spectrum that we call the he and the she. But yeah, that's how I identify.
And what pronouns can we use for you?
He, him, his.
He, him. Okay. You just said something already. I knew our interview was gonna be interesting, but like the respect for the people that have different pronouns or whatnot. I know you traveled a lot, and specifically to the continent and back. In your travels to the continent, have you ever experienced like that intersectionality on the continent, but it's not like the Western labels? Have you experienced that there in Africa? Like, meaning like, you know, in Western we have masculine, feminine, girl, man, woman. But I know in some cultures, I've heard anyway, that those gender roles or whatever are not the same as like the Western thing, you know? So I was just wondering, have you ever experienced that on the continent where you may have met somebody who here would have had to fit into like a category of, you know, a trans person or a double spirit, but they're just existing on a continent. Have you ever experienced anything like that there? Like,
well, I think the first thing that one has to consider when answering a question like that is what is colonialization, and how does it affect the world? People assume that going to Africa means that you are entering into some very deep tribal,
right,
religious kind of space. But what people don't realize is that the greater portion of the African continent has been affected by colonial powers. So whether or not you know you have culture that attempts to be like a European aesthetic, you certainly have philosophies and ideologies that attempt to replicate this European aesthetic. And so because of that, it's not necessarily the haven that people assume it to be. You kind of have to dig a little deeper in order to find the deeper parts. And so, but to answer your question, I think in the way that you might be hoping that I answer your question, there are several ethnic groups and systems of belief and practices where they don't even determine a gender identity, I believe, until like some cultures don't do it until a person is like well of age, like 13, and then they figure out, oh, this is what we're gonna call a man or a woman, or so on and so forth. There are many cultures in Africa that subscribe to that kind of system, and also when you look at African cosmology, um, it's much more on it's more on a circular spectrum rather than a linear uh, pol- polaric perspective. So it's rather than opposites, it's more of a circular kind of color grid. And so that kind of tells you a lot about the ideology of Africanist systems versus the ideology of a colonizing Eurocentric philosophy, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. Do you hear that in the background? That's okay. Just making sure.
I'm just looking at them big beautiful plants that you got.
Baby, they got so big. I got another one. This one this is the one I started in Osaka last year, and it was a baby when I got it, and I'm in love with it. I'm actually coming back home October the 15th, and I'm having to figure out how to take this back home to my place in LA, because I'm so in love with that plant. It's crazy. His name is Handsome.
So how long are you going to LA?
3 months. I'm coming to Indianapolis too.
Oh.
So I'll be there.
I actually leave to go back to New York next week.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make it to the East Coast this time. I want to so bad, but I told my homegirl who's been trying to get me to work with her on some projects that if I can manifest some work, because her projects aren't really paying, but I still want to work with her. If I can manifest some work in New York or anyone on the East Coast, and I'll drop through. But I can't come on some like vacation stuff. I'm coming home to re-up. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like the work that you're doing in Tokyo right now is really stunning.
Thank you.
And it makes me really excited for who you are. I feel like it's big and bold and audacious, and you're putting yourself and your artistry front and center, which is really exciting. So
for the first time in my life, for the first time ever.
Yeah, like typically in America, we're so used to being the background, but in some way, shape, or form. And so it's really nice to see you put the work, squarely front and center.
Yeah, it's it definitely, and this ain't about me, but I think this kind of is going to lead into our conversation too. But like, it definitely it's been a very, very scary process, revealing like, these sides of me, and also knowing that the more vulnerable I am with the work, the more like transparent I am, the more people are going to know about me. And there's levels to me, that. But I've gotten to the point where it's just like the fear is just like, it's kind of telling me which direction I need to go. So I plan on deepening that work. This is all part of that, but I plan on, like, right now, I feel like people are seeing this is the intro into the bigger picture. This is the way to pull people in, to get them in, to get to the deeper work that I'm gonna be doing in the next year or so, because that's actually the plan. I have a goal, but I'm happy that you said that, because I don't always know that I'm being seen. I don't always know that that's what it looks like. And that's what I'm hoping that I'm doing. I'm hoping that people can see that it's really raw, and it is out there, But this ain't about me. So anyway, what is it that...
Can I just like say something about that real quick?
Yeah.
Like, so, it's interesting because it reminds me of like, in this book, I believe it's Dr. Bezel in The Body Keeps the Score. He writes about two ducks fighting, and what happens when the ducks fight, and then afterwards, after the ducks finish fighting, the first thing that they do is they kind of separate and they flap their wings really, really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And like they kind of get that energy off of them, and
Mm-hmm.
then they continue, and then the fight is gone. Like the fight doesn't even exist anymore. Um, and uh, I feel like we as humans um, do something similar,
Mm-hmm.
or at least we need to do something similar. And I feel like for some people, it's the creation of art. You know, it's a scream. It's doing that thing that we do. And so when I look at the work that you're doing in Japan, I feel like it's you flapping your wings. Like,
Mm.
it's you screaming to let the energy come up from the pit of your gut, because
Yeah.
you've been kind of putting it in your gut for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the scream that you need to have happen. So so a lot of times it doesn't even have to do with whether or not people are looking, or whether you have an audience. Most of the time it has everything to do with just doing the work. So
Yeah.
and I feel like it's really dope to watch you do the work. So
Mm-hmm.
um but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. What were you going to ask me?
Thank you for saying that. I'm actually, I have a thing about wings. So it's funny you say that. Obviously, like this here behind me, I have that on my back. I have a thing about wings. Yeah, about my wings shaking, and about them not being clipped anymore, because I feel like they've been clipped maybe twice in my life, like seriously clipped. And like I have this mantra where I tell myself that don't allow your wings, like my wings will not be clipped again. They won't
Mm.
be clipped again. That's been my mantra this whole week. It's so funny you say that, but
Come on
yeah,
now, the unclipped eclipse.
the unclip baby, it's coming straight up. Um,
Mhm.
so let's talk about what you do though. I know that you are. I know that you have a multiple gifts, but in terms of the people that are the other small or younger or old Black unicorns out there that are watching this interview, what would you say it is that you do?
I flap my wings. um uh but truly, that's what I do. I have a whole bunch of energy that's inside of me, and I'm fervently flapping my wings. To be more specific, um um I mean, one could call me a choreographer, one could call me a director, one could call me a dancer. Um, uh, I think that those lines that delineate all of those things that we call ourselves, eh, most often they don't really even matter, because hopefully, um, because in the moment you change, so in the moment I feel like I'm a conductor of sorts. uh in the moment I feel like I have an invisible paintbrush,
Mm,
and I work with actors and singers and dancers and musicians and producers and designers, and I paint worlds, you know um like I'm like a mini god. I
yeah.
paint worlds, and I enjoy that, and I discover, or I try to design how those worlds moved, how people breathe and eat and walk and look and talk and sing and love and lust inside
Mm,
of these worlds that I have inside of my mind. Um, so yeah, I paint worlds.
mm,
Uh, and hopefully when people see those worlds that that I work so hard to build, hopefully they see something inside of those worlds that might influence their own world in one way or another, that might make them have greater access to a memory or a feeling, or the ability to be angry, or the ability to cry, or the ability to laugh, so that they can begin to flap their wings and start to discover things about their audacious self that they have kept silent. So I enjoy creating worlds.
Um, there was a lot there that you said, so I'm just really trying to. This next question I wanted to make sure it makes sense, because you said you do a lot of different things, but ultimately you paint worlds, and I understand that. I get that completely. What that means. Can you tell us like what was the journey to understanding how to do this, what you do, and how long did it take to get to the state of mind you're in now, where you're even able to comprehend it as I paint worlds, where there might be other people along in their journey to be like, I'm just a dancer, or I'm just a choreographer, or I'm just a director, or I'm just a creative, blah, blah, blah. But like the way you umbrella that makes a lot of sense, and it sounds like you are clear about that. How long did it take for you to get to that frame of mind, and what was the journey to get there?
I think I think I think the the ability to live inside of a moment fully, um, boldly, and unapologetically. I think that's the way that you figure out what you love. And what I mean by that is, if inside of this moment you find that what you like to do is, you know, clean houses, and then in the next moment you find that you don't like to clean houses anymore, you like to build computers.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the next moment you find that, well, I'm done cleaning houses, and I'm done building computers. I think in this next moment I like to, drive cars. So now you have traversed the world of cleaning houses, building computers and driving cars. And then you live fully inside of those moments.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't attempt to silence something that's in you, uh, when you're inside of that moment of driving the car. You drive the car like you are the last person that will ever drive a car.
Mm.
You clean a house like you invented the idea of cleaning houses. And then I think the thing is if you live in each moment fully and unapologetically, uh and 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 allow for that moment to morph itself into the next moment and the next moment and the next moment, you will not only be living each moment inside of a sort of heaven,
Mm.
but you will also be tapping into the fullest and deeper parts of yourself in every single moment. And then it becomes about not only the destination, but it becomes about the journey that gives way to the destination. See, because a lot of times we cover our journey up, and we and
Mm-hmm.
we put on Instagram the
Mm-hmm.
destination. We put on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
our six packs and
Right.
our,
Our culmination.
for our Ferrari cars and our
Right.
Teslas, and but we don't put on Instagram the times that we were living in a cardboard box, and the times that we felt ugly, and the times that we felt lonely, and the times that we felt hurt, and the times that we felt extremely vulnerable. We don't put that, and I'm not suggesting that you put that on display, but what I'm saying is I think that is to be celebrated equally as the destination. The journey is to be just as celebrated as the destination. They're one and the same. They're part and parcel of the same same thing.
Would you say that in terms of how long it takes to get there, that is no getting there, that it's just a constant cycle of journeying? Or do you ever get there?
I think that you have to decide. One has to decide that for themselves. Like, if you feel like you got there, that's your business. As Tabitha Brown says,
it is your business. Thank you, Tabitha. We love that.
That's your business. If you feel that you have arrived, that's your business. It ain't got nothing to do with me. If you feel like you've arrived, that's completely your business. I'm interested in living every moment of life. Stevie Wonder said, the minute that we stop searching, the minute that we stop hungering, the minute that we stop being interested in what's next, the minute that the question dies, so do we. Yeah, it's interesting. I was listening to my mother. She was talking about about her and my father. Somebody asked them about retiring, and she said why? She said I love what I do. Like, what's like, that's why would I want to retire? Yeah, why would I want to retire? And then I sit at home and get bored, and then I start to like crumble into nothingness. Like, the thing that keeps you alive is the fervor for some kind of rigor that keeps you alive. That's what keeps you alive, is the hunger to sort out the answer to the question that makes you so aroused. The question that you lust after, and that you hunger to answer. That's what keeps you alive.
What is you talked about the journey, and you actually answered two of the questions I was going to ask you, which was what is the motivation behind you? Do you kind of answer that already? But I want to give people a little bit more something. For some reason, I'm feeling I want to ask you about the journey a little bit more. Like, has there ever been a part in your journey that it felt like you wasn't supposed to be there? Or, like you said about driving the car, you got in, you drove like you was just like it was your last time driving. But have you ever been scared to drive the car and then drove it anyway? Or what was your hardest, what was the hardest moment you had, or that you didn't think you could do it and you did it? Or have you even had a moment like that? Because I think there are some people on this in this creative journey that, like, when I see them, I'm like, I don't think they have a doubt in their mind. I don't think they have, it don't look like they didn't have one hard time. You see them on Instagram, you see them on Facebook, but have you had a moment of doubt that you overcame? And what is one of your hardest moments or jobs that you looked at and you was like, how the hell am I going to do this? And then you did it.
Yeah, I mean, I have that all the time. And that turns me into, like, that gives me muscle. I mean, to be very honest with you, it happens with me in the subject of love. When my heart gets broken, and I wonder if I was supposed to go down a particular path or not. You know, so yeah, I have those doubts all the time. I think, and I'm not one to ever call myself any kind of, you know, prophet or guru or know-it-all or anything like that. Like I'm a work in progress. Like what I'm attempting to force myself to do is to live each moment boldly, unapologetically, and as
I'm here, don't worry.
big as big as I can. And so if I can do that, if I can find ways to shift a fuck up into a feature, then I think I've figured out a way to grow beyond that moment, because that's what life is about. It's about a whole bunch of moments that are all compiled together, and if you can master each moment, then you've done it.
So, you know, for the little Jeff that's watching, or the older Jeff that's watching, and they see themselves in you, like, what's one piece of advice you would say to them? Like, you know, yeah, what's a piece of advice you would have for them, just straight up? And I'm talking about not just, you know, in terms of business, but you mentioned love. There's some things you said, some gems in there about love and how you relate to that. And I'm sure there's people that are going to grab onto all those words. So I'm talking about the totality of Jeffrey, not just the work in Jeffrey. What would you say to that person? What advice would you give them?
I would say I would give them the advice that I constantly give myself, which is live an exhaustive life. Like, be completely exhausted, like all of your, like, spend all of your energy, spend every piece of your soul into a thing in every single moment, like completely. And that goes for the bad and the good. Like, release all of that stuff, like exhaust. The word, the etymology of the word exhaust means to jettison. It means to let go, right? So completely live an exhaustive life where things are coming into you and then passing out. And so it reminds me of the Kemetic system of thought of the Book of the Dead, which is judging the heart against the feather. And they say that you gain passage into the afterlife if your heart is lighter than the feather. And what that means is, if you're still holding on to doubts and regrets and angers and love and heartbreak, and if you're still holding on to that stuff, if you haven't exhausted all of that stuff out so that your heart is truly light and in fact lighter than a feather, then you're not ready. You have not finished your work in this earth, in this life. You haven't finished it. So therefore you cannot gain passage into the next realm, because your work is not done.
You still got some work to do. It's still heavy.
You're still heavy. So my advice is, laugh fully, drink yourself until you are full, eat until you're full, like live your own truth. And I'm not suggesting that people go out and get drunk all the time. I'm saying, do you, like, find a way to do you and do it exhaustively. so that you are completely satiated inside of the moment, and then move on to the next moment.
Come on, satiated. Y'all hear that? My friend's smart.
You stupid.
Satiated. It sounds like a ghetto. Satiated. Like a ghetto girl. Satiated. Y'all, satiated girl. Satiated in.
You know, satiated. She live on Rocco.
Right there on 42nd and Rocco. Satiated. Ooh, she get on my nerves every time she wanna come into that store. She knows she be stealing from the store.
You know what I'm saying? Satiated Jenkins.
Satiated. Ugh. Come on, satiated. All right, we're switching lanes a little bit. So this is actually I love this question for you because you are a foodie. Yeah, what is satiated? I love that word. I'm gonna be saying that all day for no reason. Be like, I'm gonna act like I'm smart in conversation. Be like, yeah, stuff is over there satiated. So I ain't even just gonna try to skip by it and see if anybody catch it. Like, I was satiated today.
No, that's not what satiated is. That's not what
y'all know I was at work. I was satiated.
No, that's not what satiated is. Let me explain it to you so you don't use it wrong.
I know, but it's kind of funny using it wrong. Oh shit! I
so like imagine you're really hungry. Like you go the whole day really, really, really hungry. And your stomach is twisting and turning, and you're getting a headache, and then imagine you sit down to a plate of food and you eat the food and you start feeling your stomach like become happy, and you start feeling your head like release all of that stress of like, I'm hungry. You have satiated your hunger.
Come on, satiated. All right. But speaking of food, what is your favorite food?
I don't have a favorite food. I mean, I have a favorite food in the moment.
What's your favorite food in the moment?
Child, right now, my mama made some. I'm at my mama's house right now. She made some vegan stuffed mushrooms, and they were so good. It was like, Mama, you could sell this at a restaurant.
Why don't Black people? Can I ask y'all something? I just gotta say this. Y'all, every time food is good, y'all don't gotta tell a Black person they can sell in a restaurant. It's just good food. That's like when somebody tell you that means you didn't cook your ass off.
I'm just saying, like it like yes.
You are plant-based, right? Mostly.
I'm a love base.
Explain that a little bit.
I eat anything that's made with love. My default is plant-based. So if I'm alone by myself, I'm gonna shop. I'm gonna go to the grocery store and buy plant-based food for myself. But let's say that a friend is cooking dinner, and let's say they're very happy to cook me dinner. Like, let's say they put a lot of love and care and attention into this dinner, that like, it's not just to have me over, but it's like, I enjoy making this for you. Like, I'm gonna I'm gonna taste every moment of the cooking of it. I'm going to be completely attentive to the cooking of it, like I am painting a beautiful, masterful work of art. Who am I to turn that food down? So I enjoy food that's well attended. That's well attended to. It's so good.
Yeah, I have to tell you thank you, because when you were here, Jeffrey, you put me up in the watermelon game. And I went to research it a bit more, and that keeps your penis hard.
I didn't even know that. Were you sending me
I didn't either. Y'all, Jeffrey was here
God.
working on directing the play here. which was phenomenal, by the way. People are still talking about that play.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Everyone Loves Jamie. If you guys haven't heard of it, look it up. It's actually a movie now. It's on Amazon Prime.
Everybody's talking about Jamie.
Everybody's talking about Jamie. It was really, really good.
What are they saying about it? Like,
it's just the people people are just
nobody's telling me anything. So I'm like totally like,
well, a lot of people in Osaka, that's where a lot of my friends live, have seen it. And they all were calling me and like, oh, I heard your friend directed this, and they were just saying how amazing it was.
Wow.
Yeah. More than one person has told me that. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Well,
I think I sent you one of the messages. I should have kept sending you those messages. I was getting them, but I kept getting messages.
That would have made my heart so happy. Like, imagine putting your heart into a work of art.
Yeah.
And then it's just complete silence.
Yeah, well, you're not here in the country though. It's not really complete silence. You're just not in the energy. You're not here.
But I'm just saying, imagine what that feels like.
Yeah.
Imagine what the feeling of that is.
Like dropping off a baby and that's the baby.
Yeah, like you just put everything into this artwork, and then you cannot be there to hear what is going on with it. Like, so I and then the things that, I mean, I try to scroll through Twitter and look at the comments, but of course I don't speak Japanese. So like, Google Translate be helping me out, but I want to.
Yeah, I should have sent you. I have to say, when I watched the movie, because I watched the play, which is something that I still can't get past the fact that you directed this play to a Japanese cast, speaking a Japanese language, and through your process was able to get your vision across. There's something special about that. That is not easy to do. Anybody who works in any level of creativity knows that, like, language is such a big part of expressing how to get something out or to explain something. And so basically Jeffrey was here working in Japan for 3 months with the all Japanese cast, directing them to a place where this Broadway production was able to go up and did really, really well. And it was right in time with the movie that came out. And it was just a very timely message. I actually related a lot to that message, even with what I'm, doing now. So it's called Everybody Loves Jamie.
Everybody's talking about Jamie.
Everybody's talking about Jamie. Yeah. But have you ever had a friend or some friends that they say the thing like, get around people who know more than you? And you do feel a little stupid sometimes, but I swear it's so worth it, because if you're not around people that are pushing you or higher levels of intelligence than you, or able to just see things from a different place, you pretty much stagnant. You're holding yourself back. And anytime I'm around this person right here, I get a few books, few book suggestions, some food suggestions. I learn how to direct plays. I know how to direct a play. Okay, y'all can call me. But what is one piece of art, and it can be any type of art. It could be writing, it could be paint, it can be dance, it can be cooking, it can be loving. But what is one piece of artwork or an experience of art or creativity that a person has to or should see before they transition off this earth?
I don't know. I would say, I don't know. I would say there's a belief system in Indian cuisine of the spices. The spices, when you go out to eat Indian food, it's called rasas.
It's called what?
Rasas.
Rasas?
Yeah, RASAS. Rasas.
See what I mean?
And essentially what it is you have a taste of spicy, a taste of salty, a taste of sweet, a taste of bitter, so on and so forth. So you have all of these various tastes. And there's a belief system in Indian culture that art is created from the amalgamation and the strategizing and orchestrating of these various rasas. Okay, so whether it's music, theater, dance, food, poetry, so on and so forth, you include this taste inside of your work. And so what I would say is not necessarily art, but I would say something else. I would say experience all the tastes of life. Experience all the tastes of life, the hot, the cold, the spicy, the sweet, the sour, the bitter, like experience the rough, the smooth, you know, the melancholy, the lustful, experience all the tastes of life, because it creates its own kind of beautiful mosaic. And I think that each one of us will have a varying degree of each of those, the amount of each of those flavors that we include inside of the thing that makes up who we are in our life. But experience all of it. Experience all of it. You know, don't just experience the bougie. You know, experience the
highs and the lows.
The high and the lows. Yeah. Experience all of it. It's phenomenal. You know, most of the time I walk everywhere just because, you know, I could afford a cab, and I could afford a car, and I could afford, you know, but in New York, I ride my bike everywhere because I want to see the world. I want to see where I am. I want to see, like, when I was in Japan, whenever I had the opportunity to walk places, I walked, just because I really enjoyed it. Like, I just enjoy, like, experiencing all of that. Like, so I think it goes yet again to this concept of living every single moment unapologetically and free. Like, in every moment, like you say, if we can subdivide every moment of our life into seconds, in 10 seconds and 20 seconds and yada yada yada, like, how do we make sure that we are being absolutely attentive to every moment of our life?
I know how. Is that a question?
It's not a question. It's not a question. It's not a question.
I was just gonna say that it's Rosses meets satiated. Satiated is present with Rosses, then you're gonna be able to develop the present situation. Okay? Rosses is satiated, it's two of the same.
It's two of the same. Rosses is satiated. Rosses satiated Jenkins.
They sisters.
Rosses satiated Jenkins.
Right. Two vocabulary words for us today. But okay, yeah, so experiencing the highs and lows, the fullness of life. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Laugh with your full belly. Laugh with your full belly.
I know you don't share with everybody, and I know that a lot of Black unicorns actually are very private. So I always feel really honored to like talk to you and like allow me in your space like this. What and wrapping it up, what is an affirmation or mantra that you you said a lot of them today. If y'all go back and look, he said a lot of them. But what is one that you've used that you live by, or one that you're using currently that you would like to share with everybody in closing?
So at the moment, I'm enjoying this. Turn your fuck ups into features. I really enjoy that.
Turn your fuck ups into features.
Yeah. So what's the fuck up? What is a fuck up?
A fuck up is when you do something you're not happy about.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, I think.
Or like you look fucked up, or you fucked up, or you know. And what's a feature?
Yeah, and I guess a feature is something you feature is something that you don't mind putting out for the world to see. You're happy about. You're proud of it. It's something that shows.
Celebrate it.
Yeah.
It's something to be celebrated. It's featured, like a feature film, or you know, or a featured dish, or the featured guest is featured.